Welcome back to Snowflake Learning. Thanks for joining this session. Up until now, every time we have used the copy command, we have explicitly defined the file format. That means for each command, we had to specify things like the file type, the field delimiter, and skip the header row. While that approach works just fine, there is actually a better, and more maintainable way to handle this. Instead of repeating the format details in every command, we can define a file format object, similar to how we define a stage object. Once created, we can reuse this file format object across all our copy commands. Let me show you how that works. First, we will create a table to work with in our example. Now let us create our file format object. It is pretty straightforward. We use the create or replace command, specify the file format keyword, and then provide a fully qualified name, something like this. Once we run this command, the file format gets created. You will notice Snowflake shows everything in all caps. This is just the standard. It doesn't matter if you write it in lowercase, it will be interpreted the same way. This file format object is listed under schema, right here. Now that we've created the file format, we can check its properties using the describe command. Here we can see details like the type, which defaults to CSV, and the field delimiter, which is set to a comma. We also see whether or not it skips the header row, currently set to false or 0. But there are many more properties available, more than just the basic type, delimiter, and header options. Now, let's try using this file format object in a copy command. Instead of redefining the format settings, we simply reference the object using the format name clause, and provide the fully qualified name. We can see the copy command got executed successfully, and the result is as expected. If we encounter errors related to the file format settings, like incorrect delimiters, or headers, we can update the file format using the alter command. For example, we can change the skip_header value from 0 to 1. Now, what if we want different settings from the default when creating the file format? We just define them right in the create statement. For example, we could set the type to JSON, and the time format to auto. After creating this new file format, we can inspect the properties again, and we will see that the type is now JSON. But, be careful, if you are working with a CSV file, and try using a JSON format, it won't work. You'll get an error. And here is something important, Snowflake doesn't let you change the file format type once it's created. So if you need a different type, you'll have to recreate the file format object from scratch using create or replace. But let's say you only want to override one property, just for a single copy command. You can still use your file format object, and add extra options right inside the command. For example, your file format might have skip_header equals 1, but for one specific copy, you can set it to 0. Let us run this. There you go. Now here is something you might not expect, you can also define these file format options directly in a stage object. If you describe the stage, you will see it has similar properties like type, field delimiter, and skip header. In fact, most of the properties available in file format objects are also available in stage objects. So yes, you could define everything in the stage, but again, best practice is to use a separate file format object. It keeps your setup modular, and easier to manage. And when you reference a file format object in a copy command, it overrides any matching properties defined in the stage. You also have access to additional stage-level copy options on top of that. So to recap, we've learned how to create and manage file format objects, how to reuse them in copy commands, how to override their properties temporarily, and how file format settings can also live inside a stage. Now that we've got a solid handle on all this, it's time to put it into practice. Thank you for joining. See you in the next session.